So, you've been given your first regulatory project in financial services to manage. But how do you start? Because the regulations are not clear, and even the ones that are clear seem to be changing all the time. How do you start? Here are my 5 tips. Number one, get the bank's interpretation of the regulation and how they impact your business from somebody. The point is, these regulations have been written by regulators around the world for banks around the world. So it's not just your job to read and understand them. All teams within your bank will be impacted. So there needs to be, and there will be, someone who's written down something sensible to say, this is our bank's interpretation of how these apply to us. Take that as a starting point. Don't start from scratch. Number two, read the regulations yourself and understand them. They can be hundreds of pages long. I know it's daunting, but the quicker you get through it, the better you'll feel, because you'll know what people are talking about and you'll be able to engage in conversation with legal and compliance when they try to explain their document. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, I get the regs, this is what they say, am I right? You correct me. That's how you build your understanding. Number three, document your approach and your assumptions. So this is where you say, okay, I get the regs now, thank you, and this is how I believe they impact my business. These are the products that are impacted, these are the processes, and therefore this is how I'm going to meet it. What do you think? And again, you get legal and compliance to validate that so that your approach becomes a we approach. This is how we're going to do it. Believe me, legal and compliance will be your best friends in this project, bar none. Number four, execute it, again with legal and compliance by your side for answering any questions. And five, and I think this is the most important one, document everything. Document your approach, preferably requirement by requirement if you can. So if there are 100 requirements, have a spreadsheet with each of those down the left hand side and down the right hand side, how exactly you approached it. And again, get legal and compliance to agree that and say, yes, that is how we do it. Or tweak it and say, actually, we need to do something here. Also include your gaps here. In high likelihood, you'll not complete every single one by the deadline. But that's okay. Document those in this format and say how you're going to address it in the coming weeks or months. That is what is going to get you past internal audit and external audit if you're lucky enough to be audited externally, because transparency and documentation of what exactly you're going to do and what you've done and what you're going to do if you haven't quite finished yet is much better than just pretending that you've done it. That doesn't give anyone any comfort, and you're going to get a shot at the end of it if you don't do it right. Hopefully that makes sense. Give it a go, and good luck.